Hey friends, thanks for joining me for yoga today. You may want a couple of blocks or any other props that may support you in your yoga practice. Reminders to take breaks, skip anything you need to skip, and you always do modifications to protect your body with the poses. So let's begin. So come to an easy seat. So you can do crisscross applesauce on your mat. You can sit with lotus or half lotus, whatever is in your practice. So we're going to ground into this moment. So bring your hands to your knees, palms down if you need some grounding, or palms up if you need some energy. So let's rest our eyes, close your eyes, sit tall, and let's take some nice big inhales and exhales. Getting some nice fresh air in our lungs for our practice. So as you inhale, inhale smoothly, deeply, pausing, and then exhaling smoothly and allowing all that old air to come out to make room for that fresh new air. So let's inhale and exhale. And you can choose to exhale out the nose or out the mouth, yogi's choice. So take a few more breaths just like that, bringing awareness to the breath and bringing flow from inhales to exhales, making the transitions like waves, flowing in and out. Take one more deep inhale and exhale, and then come to find your natural breath. At any point during our practice, if you lose your breath, you can always bring focus back to the breath. So let's begin by making some small movements in our hands and shoulders. Maybe opening and closing the hands, rotating the wrists, blinking the eyes open. Whatever little wiggles, you can straighten your legs. You can move around a little bit just to reawaken the body. So let's come back to your easy seat where we're going to start with shoulder shrugs. So you can place your hands on the side of each of your hips. And so we're going to lift with an inhale and lower with an exhale. So inhale, rise the shoulders to your ears, squeeze. Exhale, gently release, slowing the shoulders back and away. So inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, shoulders down. We're going to take 3 more at your own pace, matching movement to breath. Very good. You should be on that last set. So now we're going to do our side stretches. So let's start with our right hand going up. So let's ground into our left hand. So left palm right behind your left hip. Bring your right palm faced up. And so on our inhales, let's stretch up and over. And exhales, rotate the hand and push it down. Inhale, palms up. And you can bend that left elbow. Exhale, push it down. So let's take 3 more at your own pace. You may want to take a little pause in between your inhales and your exhales. Just find that stretch that your body needs. Very good. Should be on that last one. So we'll meet in center and we'll switch sides. So placing your right palm on the side of your right hip on the mat. Left palm faces out, and inhale, bring your hand up and over, feeling that side stretch, and then exhale, push it down, rotating that hand along with it. Inhale, palm up, rotate the hand, exhale, push it down. Let's take 3 more on this side. Remembering you can pause in between your inhales and your exhales. be on that last one. And we'll meet at center. So now we're going to do our bound angle pose, or butterfly pose, which is my favorite word for it. So bring the palms of your feet or the soles of your feet together. And so if you bring your feet closer to your body, you're going to feel more of a stretch. If it's too much, walk your feet out just a little bit. So you want to try and push your knees to the mat and activate your back growing tall. So this is a very active pose. So we're not slouching. We're sitting up, bringing our shoulders back and away from our ears. We have a good grasp on either our feet or our ankles and sitting tall. And our heart space is coming through our arms. So let's inhale and exhale here. Now you can bring movement into your legs if that feels good. So you can make your butterfly's wings flap. And so on our next inhale, we're going to grow tall, and then exhale, let's fold forward. So we're going to fold our butterflies. And you can still flap the wings if that feels good. You can move your hands to your toes and clasp your hand around your feet. But just allow the fold to come from the hip. So you can bring your heart space towards, and then you can lower your head and neck if that feels good. Let's find your natural breath, bringing awareness to the breath. Very good. So inhale, let's bring our palms to the mat and slowly push up and bring the knees in. And so let's make our feet wide as our mat. And we're going to swoosh them back and forth. So windshield wiper those legs back and forth, allowing the knees to fall in. It feels good for the hips. And now we're going to move to a boat pose. So a little core exercise is always nice. So let's plant the soles of your feet on your mat about hip distance apart. So you want from your hips to your knees to your feet to all make straight lines. We're going to bring our hands behind our knees, and we're going to sit tall. And what we're going to do is we're going to slowly rock back, bringing our feet in the air, and make your feet parallel to the mat. So this is our boat pose. So keep your gaze forward, and inhale, exhale, and then slowly lower your feet to the mat. You can widen your feet and fall forward. Taking just a little break before we move to our second round. So this time we can see if we want to challenge ourselves. So let's come back to our position, hands under your knees. Make sure to sit tall, sit back, and now we can always let go of our hands. So let go of your hands. You can bring your feet together, knees together, arms are straight out. Make sure to still sit tall. Find your breath. 2 more breaths here, so let's hang in there. 1 more breath. Very good. Gently bring your feet to the mat. Widen your knees and sit forward. You can kind of rock side to side if you need to. And now we're going to do our last boat pose. So let's bring your feet to the mat. This time let's bring them together, knees together, hands under the knees. Inhale here and exhale, lean back and do your boat pose. So if you want to stay here, you can stay here. You can let go, or you can try straightening your legs. Find what works for you. And we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. So bring focus to the breath, stay strong. Activate that core, point your toes. There should be 2 more breaths left. You can do it. Very good. Now gently, let's try and lower all the way to the mat. Very good. So for this pose, we're going to make our legs come up to 90 degrees. If you need a block, this is a good time to use your block. You can certainly just stay here and hang on tight while I do this part. So if you're using a block, bring the feet to the mat, lift your hips, and slide the block right under your lower back. So like around where your tailbone is. So we're going to place our palms on the mat face down. Bring your toes out. You can kind of feel a little bit of a back bend here. So inhale, rise your feet to the sky. You can make them flat, you can keep them pointed. Exhale, lower the feet. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, lower them. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Let's take 2 more here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Very good. If you have a block, place your feet on the mat. Inhale, lift those hips and take the block away. Exhale, lower the hips down. You can straighten your legs and take just a break here. So you can bring your arms to each side. You can do like a star pose and find your natural breath. So now we're going to make our way to tabletop. So let's bring our knees in, hug those knees in, and rock and roll. Going forward and backward. And then let's make our way to our hands and knees at tabletop. So we have our knees under our hips. Our feet are untucked, but if you want a little bit more grounding, you can keep your toes tucked. Bring your hands under your shoulders, widen your hands, where we're going to do some cat-cows. So cat, we're going to arch our back, tuck our neck, and bring our navel to spine. Cows, we're going to lower our belly, bring our gaze forward and heart space forward. So on our inhales is where we come to cow, and exhale to cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. So take 3 more at your own pace, and we'll meet back at tabletop. You should be coming on that last one. Very good. So now we're going to tuck our toes, send our hips in the air for a downward dog. So feet are hip distance apart. Make sure to find length in your spine. Let's bring our gaze to the top of our mat and walk our hands or our feet to our hands. And we're going to halfway lift, so bring your hands to your shins, bring the gaze forward. Exhale, fold over. Inhale, rise to the sky, bringing your arms up, stretch up high to the sky, and bring hands to heart center. Very nice. So we're going to do a chair pose. So chair pose. We're going to sit. Well, we're going to sit back. So at the same time sitting back, we're going to bend our knees and rise our arms. So bring your feet together, or if it feels more comfortable, you can put a little bit wider of a stance by doing feet hip distance together, but my preference is together. So inhale, grow tall. Exhale, swoop the arms up and sit back, doing your chair pose. So I'll go at a diagonal. So you want to sit back. Make sure the knees aren't offshooting your feet. Bring the gaze forward and find your natural breath. Very good. So inhale here, exhale, fold over. Straightening the legs. Take a breath here. Inhale, come back up, rise to the sky, arms up, and hands at heart center. Very good. We'll do chair one more time. So if you want to try widening your stance to see if that's better, you can do that. Or go with what felt good the first time. So you ready? So inhale, swoop the arm, or inhale, grow tall. Exhale, swoop the arms up and sit back in your chair. This time, let's just see how our alignment is. Make sure that your navel is tucked in, Make sure you're not putting and dumping all the weight in. Find your natural breath. You can bring your hands to heart center if it's too much for your shoulders. Let's take 2 more breaths here. You can do anything with 2 more breaths. Last breath. Very good. Inhale and exhale, fold over, straightening your legs. Very nice. So inhale, let's swoop the arms up, reach to the sky. Bring the hands together, heart center, exhale. Great job, guys. All right, so now we're going to get into our warriors. So we're going to do warrior 1. So I'm going to face you, and I'll also show the side view. So you want to come to the top of your mat, and you're going to take a big step back with your right foot. So take a step back. So we have both straight legs here, right? Make sure that right leg is about a 45-degree angle, and then bend into the left leg. Keeping the knee over the ankle and your hips square to the top of your mat. And swoop your arms up. So reach high with your hands to the sky while also grounding into the mat with your feet. So with your back right knee, make sure that's activated. That's going to help support you. It's going to support your knee, support your lower back. So inhale here and exhale here. Very good. So now we're going to drop the right knee for low lunge. So you can bring your hands to your left knee, untuck your right toes. So I'll go to a side view. So you can stay just like this. And we want to focus on, you can straighten or sit up, but then you want to send your hips in. So it's that hip opening this way, keeping those legs, or keeping your hips towards the square of the top of the mat. Hands can stay here at your waist, or you can clasp and put them over your knee, or you can even keep them up. But this is a nice low lunge. So now let's sit back and straighten that left leg. And this is a nice counter pose. It's like a half split. And let's come back on our foot. And let's try and straighten that leg coming right back up. So straighten, drop the right heel, and bring the arms back up to warrior 1. And let's bring our right foot to meet our left. And hands at heart center. Very good. So we have another side to do. So our next side, I'll go over here. So inhale and exhale. Take that big step back with that left foot, making sure it's at a 45-degree angle. Turn the hips towards the top of your mat. Bend into that right knee, making sure it is over your right ankle. Square those hips and rise the arms up to the sky. Gaze forward. Feel that strong, strong energy going through the tips of your fingers and that grounding energy through the bottoms of your toes. Very good. Let's pivot our left foot onto our ball of our left toes. Bring the knee down, untuck the toes for our low lunge. So you can keep your hands at your hips or place them at your knee. So make sure we're aware of where our hips are. So then when we feel like we are ready, we can sink those hips deeper into our body. So making sure that right knee isn't overshooting the right ankle. Gaze can be forward. Keep your hands on your knee at your hips, or you can rise them if you need a little bit more of a challenge. Listen to where you are today. Each side might be different. So let's take another inhale, exhale here. Let's tuck our left toes in and let's see if we can stand up from here. So straighten that left leg, drop the heel to a quick warrior 1. It's a little bit wider so you can shorten your stance. Inhale and exhale. Bring your left foot to your right foot. Bring our arms to the sky for a good stretch. And hands at heart center. Very good. That's pretty challenging, but you did great. Very good. Okay, now we're going to do our tree poses. So for tree poses, it's balance. So every day is different with balance. Use assistance from a wall. You can use assistance from a block, because you can always put your foot on that block. You can use assistance from a table. So we're going to begin with grounding into our left foot, and our right foot is the foot that comes higher. Okay, so let's take a look at our feet. Our left foot is going to be the base of the trunk of our tree. So lift the toes, spread them out, and lower them. Let's make sure to center our body over our left foot. And then let's place our right foot where we are today. So you can keep it on the ground. If you're good here, stay here. You can keep it at your calf. Or you can bring it above the knee, not at your knee. But whatever you do, you want to find your drishti, which is your focal point. Preferably something that's not moving. And come to find your breath. So our right knee, we want to swing open because it's also a hip opener. You can bring your hands at heart center. If you have a mudra, you can do a mudra or rise your arms up for a big tree, biggest tree in the forest. So spreading those fingers, extending the arms up. Find your tree today. And don't worry if you come out of your tree because it might be a windy day. You can always come back and try again. Keep trying and keep that focus. So I'll give you a couple moments here with me not talking, where you can just focus on your tree and play around with the different variations. Very good. So we're going to swing our knee forward. So let's swing our knee forward and then drop it. All right, so that left calf is feeling kind of stiff. So let's walk it out a little bit, bring a little movement before we get ready to ground in our right side for our right tree. So let's bring focus into our right leg. So the trunk of our tree, making sure that it's under all of our bodies. So that is our base. So lift your toes. Straight or widen your toes and then drop them. So this is our foundation. Take your time getting into this side, remembering the variations. Your calf, keeping it on the floor or above the knee. Making sure you can use the wall or table for assistance. And listen to the lovely music. It sounds like there's frogs or something in here. So let's bring the gaze to something not moving. You can keep your hands at your hips, hands at heart center, a mudra, or even, it's a windy day for me, or even bring your arms to the sky for the biggest tree in the forest. So find your tree, and I'll give you a few moments to play around, making sure that you are trying again. If you come out, we can always go back in. And always focus on that breath. It's a good focal point. See, I came out of my tree. Try it again. So let's do 2 more breaths on this side. Very good. Okay, so let's bring that right knee or left knee even, swing it in, and then drop that foot. Let's walk it out. Walking it out. Very good. Now we're going to make our way back to the mat. So let's come back to the top of our mat. Swoop the arms up. Hinge at the hips for a forward fold. Plant the hands and step back to downward dog. Drop the knees. We're going to come back to tabletop. So we're going to do what's called side stretches, but I kind of like to think that they make the shape of a banana or like a moon. So we're going to get into tabletop. Hands under our shoulders, fingers spread wide apart, knees under our hips, and your feet can be untucked. So we're going to start looking on our left side. So bring your gaze to your left foot, and you can feel that stretch. So this is a side stretch. So you can even straighten that right leg and do your toes at the same time. So tuck your toes on your right leg and straighten that leg and take a look over to our left. So now we're multitasking. Very good. Now let's bend the knee, bring it back, and we'll do the other side. So straighten that left foot, tuck the toes, and then bring your gaze over your right shoulder to your right foot. Finding that nice stretch in the left side. Very good. Bring the gaze back to center. Bend the left knee, and you can do side to side with your hips. So make a movement kind of like a snake, back and forth. Very nice. Now let's walk our hands out. Let's go to plank pose. Take chaturanga going down. And then stay here. So bring your hands under your shoulders, and we're going to push up to a cobra. So keep your feet straight back. Tops of your feet are on the mat. Hands are under your shoulders. I want you to activate your knees, which will activate your quads and your core. And on our inhale, we're going to push up, keeping a slight bend in our elbows, holding it at a count of 1, 2, 3. Exhale, gently lower. Bring your hands out to the sides and take a rest. So for the cobras, you want to just put a slight bend in your elbows and don't go all the way up. We want to warm the body for that. So we'll try that on the last one. So let's bring your hands back under your shoulders. And inhale, let's push up, making sure you're activated on your lower half of your body. So you can feel your hips pushing into the mat, your thighs, tops of your feet. Hold it for 2 more breaths. And then slowly lower down on your exhale. Releasing and letting go. Hands can go to the side. Legs can flap out. Just take a moment to reset. Now on this one, if you want to push up a little bit higher, we're going to bring our hands a little bit further back. So they're under our shoulders, but walk it just a little back, one more little part back, and that's going to help support us. So inhale, exhale here, and inhale, push up a little bit higher. Bring in your gaze, just center. You don't have to look straight up. You want to support your neck. Make sure everything's flexed. Very good. 2 more breaths. And on your exhale, lower down. Whew. Very good. Very good. So now we're going to try bow pose. So that cobra prepped us for bow. Now if you want to try a half bow, you can do a half bow. You might want to use a strap because we're going to be lifting our feet and grabbing our feet. So if you want to put the strap behind your foot and hold it, you can do that. So to get ready for prep for that, we're going to lay our hands, palms up on our next to us. And so we're going to grab the outsides of our feet or the insides, whatever feels comfortable. And so on our inhale, we're going to lift everything up, bringing our gaze forward. Make sure you keep your knees closer together, and then lower. So we're just going to do another one just like that, just so you get the feel of what bow pose is. Now you can just do one side with your arm out. You can do that as well, okay? And you can do that one on each side. So we'll actually do 2 more so that way you can feel what that feels like. But if you're ready for the full version, you can do the full version. So if you're doing half, we're going to do our left side. So bring the right arm parallel with the top of your mat in front of you. Left hand, let's grab on the inside of that left foot, or you're going to use that strap. So inhale, let's pull our foot up. And you can feel that stretch with the top of my leg, my shoulder. Keep your gaze forward. And then exhale. Very good. Let it out. Relax your body. And we'll move to the right side. So bring your right foot up. Make sure your left arm is parallel with the mat on your forearm. Hand is grounded. Bring your right arm back to grab the inside of your foot or the outside, or you can use your strap. So inhale. Let's bring our gaze up, shoulders back. Lift your left foot or the right foot up. Inhale, exhale, and then lower. Gently lower. Very nice job. So take just a moment here with your arms out to the side. You're doing great. You can grab a drink of water. And then we're going to roll to our backs. So let's roll to our back. Letting it go. Excuse me while I adjust. So relax. Your body's worked hard. Let's bring our knees in and hug it out. So squeeze it in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And we're going to do a supine twist. So if you need something gentle and easy, you can do something very gentle. So let's hug the knees in. Bring our right hand to our left knee, and our left arm's going to come out, palm down to the left side. We're going to pull our legs to the right and bring our gaze over the left hand. For easier, you can just let go of your knees and just make your arms make a T. You can bring your gaze over your left hand and feel that nice stretch happening. And let's take this moment just to let everything go, allowing the twist to happen. Let's bring our gaze back to neutral, and let's try and lift our knees back to center and through to the left side. Bring your left arm to your right knee and your right arm palm down, or you can make both arms go out to a T and bring your gaze to your right. And just find your natural breath here as we cool down. Let's bring the gaze back to center. Bring the knees back up. You can hug it in one last time. And then release. Now it's time for our Shavasana. Sometimes the best part of the poses is just letting it all go. So make your way to your mats on your backs, using any props around you that you need to get comfortable, while we allow our body to soak in all the benefits of our practice. So soften your eyes, close your eyes. Bring your hands, palms up next to you, feet flop to the outsides of your mat. And just allow this moment for a little stillness, bringing your focus to your breath, or maybe something positive that happened during your practice. Find your natural breath. And I'll let you know when it's time to come out of Shavasana. Begin to make small little movements. Take a nice inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Just begin making bigger stretch movements. Hug it in. Bring your knees to chest. Being thankful to yourself for making the choice to show up to yoga today because you're awesome. And then let's roll to your left side. So roll like a ball to the left side, pausing for a moment of reflection. Noticing how you feel compared to when you first started. Giving yourself appreciation. And then I invite you to come and meet me into an easy seat on your mat, or you can stay where you are. And meet me with hands at heart center. And close your eyes and bow your head. I want to thank you so much for joining me for yoga. I appreciate you. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste. Thanks again for joining me for yoga, and I'll see you next time.